Kathmandu, the ancient valley of temples and 100 ethnicities, where centuries unfold across its lanes and alleyways, leading to temples, palace courtyards, and traffic smarts. The valley, with over 2 million people, is a showcase of Nepal's ancient culture, seen in everyday life, a treasured heritage. Just within 20 square miles of the valley lie 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. An intriguing blend of traditions savored by travelers in search of sights and sounds, and found in plenty. Kingdoms once synonymous to Nepal, now relegated to history among its fascinating palace squares. The last king deposed in 2006, and monarchy laid to rest in museums as people come to grips with the republic state. The country opened to the outside world, or rather the tourists, in the early 70s. By 2011, which is the Nepal tourism year, the government aims to attract 1 million tourists. Thomas Glerup, a Danish businessman, is a visitor on business to this tiny Himalayan country, which became a member of WTO as recently as 2004.
Well, it all started by pure coincidence, in fact. About 4 years ago, I was working in my parents' company called Glerup's DK. We were also manufacturing felted shoes. We were at that point manufacturing in Denmark and Romania. And we were exhibiting our shoes at a fashion fair in Copenhagen. And among these people, there were some Nepali who had brought up also felted shoes. So at first I got really angry and got pissed because I didn't understand that my foreign minister was bringing me competition from Nepal now. I was just in the startup phase and we were struggling to survive. So I went around for half a day swearing and didn't know what to do, but ended up going and contacting these people. I invited them to visit our factory in Denmark, and before they left, 2 or 3 days later, we had an agreement to make a startup facility under the Danita program. We made a joint venture and we got some fundings from the Danish government. But after a couple of years, kind of like the energy faded out, and for different reasons. I don't actually know who to blame. The chemistry was not there anymore. So I decided to either we should cancel, or if we should go on, we should find a new partner and establish our own factory down here.
Glerup's NP has a range of products from accessories, home decorations, utilities and dresses. The company's main product remains the felt shoes, indoor shoes made by felting wool. Thomas runs the production with his Nepalese partner Prakash, an MBA who runs a travel company from his office in the tourist hub of Kathmandu, Tamil. It is often in one of the bustling cafes of Tamil that business gets talked over. A downtown glass visibly shows tourism as it sells and fetches 70% of the country's foreign exchange. Whereas other sectors of industrial growth and exports in the predominantly agricultural economy of Nepal remain at a minimum.
I'm not a especially good person. I'm not a religious person. I don't have a Mother Teresa in my stomach. I'm doing this for business. At the same time, to me, business is also philosophy. And I have learned that if you want to be well, you have to do well. So you have to behave when you do business. And that is kind of what we're trying to do here. At the same time, we are utilizing the low labor down here in Nepal. We're doing good because we're creating jobs and we are creating growth down here. And we're making money in here in Denmark also.
Recently, the factory got relocated on the outskirts of Kathmandu. From 55 workers, its workforce cut to just 10 as it recovers business. The daily shift begins with wool getting sorted out and precisely weighed for the day's production. This wool is bought at the world market, but as time goes by, most of it is being bought locally. With the help of pre-cut shapes, the wool is cut into socks that go under the scrubbing hands for 2 to 3 hours. And as wool shrinks, it begins to get into shape. This process of scrubbing, called felting, gives it the name felt shoes. Felting needs no chemicals. It's plain water and soap. This makes the unit environment friendly and safer to operate in even non-industrial locations like this one.
We're using 100% pure wool, uncarbonized. When we dye, we do it with the best colors available, without heavy metal chemicals. We are trying to make a full circle product, a cradle to cradle product. That's our ambition. And I think we have a future product here.
At the end of a day, the worker outputs 2 pairs of adult-sized shoes or 3 pairs of baby sizes. This comes to about 50 pairs of shoes per day. During peak seasons, production goes up to 250 pairs of shoes a day, which also means a 150% increase in labor strength. After felting, the next step is to put lasts into the shoes and pile them into the tumbler, where they get shaped by knocking against each other and also squeeze out water. Quality check gets done at various stages, but most of the damage gets picked out between tumbling and drying. With the wet stage of production over, the shoes with last inside are put on racks for drying. Sometimes extra water is taken out with a spin in the dryer. After drying, the shoes go for trimming.
We expect to have the shoes made in Nepal, also to have the traditional feeling of yak leather shoes and handcraft made shoes. So by the end this is a globalization world and a global shoe. Betterfelt for the world. So this is Betterfelt. We are starting with 18. The container for India has to go in week 31. Yes. You can deliver earlier, but not later than week 27. Perfect. That's the point. Make business easy. Yes.
Initially, the sales were also intended for the local market, but price constraints and the possibility of low-quality duplication made Betterfelt keep the sales focused on exports.
So today we are an independent unit. We are no longer connected to Gleros DK. I formed my own company in Denmark, which is called Betterfelt.com. So today the production facility down here in Nepal, our workshop, still called Gleros NP, is having one customer only, which is Betterfelt.com. And Betterfelt.com is in this way making the sales and responsible for making the work and providing the turnover to this unit.
Meeting deadlines is often scary, with a regular power cut of 16 hours and likely to continue into the next year at least. Even the generator may give up as fuel supply to the valley snaps often, with frequent blockades in the borderlands, a fallout of unstable governments in the country.
We have been fighting now for almost 3 or 4 years to establish a good quality. And I think we are just really beginning to fulfill the good quality.
As market dynamics shift in a new production environment, one of the objectives of the company remains in providing employment and a better market opportunity for Nepal. The workers in the factory are mostly girls who come from local areas around. This proximity is an advantage to manufacturing, as work still keeps moving despite the frequent strikes in the country. Sangeeta is with the company since the past 4 years. She joined as an unskilled worker and then was trained for the work. She now is a typical semi-skilled worker, not just found at this factory, but in many similar manufacturing units of Nepal.
One of the gifts of doing business abroad from Denmark, and especially in a country like Nepal, is that you see your own country from outside and you learn as much of Denmark as you learn of Nepal.